Hello my friends and welcome to my channel. I thought it would be so fun to share kind of a time-lapse video, but a mega one, showing from start to finish my whole main floor transformation. It has been a year now since we've gone through this, and I love looking back at it and seeing what the house looked like before, what it took to get it there. We did a lot of the work ourselves, so it did take us a little time. So we started off by removing an accent wall, which was between my living room and kitchen, and then we moved on to removing the floors. We also had another layer of these boards put on the floor, because when we installed the laminate, it was touch lower than the tiles, so we needed to raise it up. Now, since we're going to be installing the same floor throughout, we no longer needed those boards. So this took a lot of planning and kind of figuring out how I wanted things to turn out. I have decided that for my living room and dining room, I was going to do a board and batten, and then for the rest of the house, I wasn't going to do anything else. But then obviously it had evolved into putting an accent, dressing up a beam, dressing up all the fireplaces because they were electric. So it kind of evolved as it went. But the only thing that, well, there's two things that we did not do. We did not do the remove the tiled floor. We had somebody come and do it. He gave us an extremely good price, so he did that. And then we also obviously did not install our kitchen. The kitchen was done by a local kitchen company, but everything else we did ourselves. So I ended up painting all the white trim in the house, decorators white, which is the same color as what I picked for my kitchen. The walls in the living room and dining room were mindful gray, and then the repose gray was everywhere else except the bathroom. The mudroom. The mudroom had I think it was the October Mist, which is the same color that I've painted the upstairs laundry room as well. So kind of just to give you an overview, we have also installed LVP, luxury vinyl plank, and it was finally mine by Provenza. I absolutely love the floor. It was a big cost. We did end up finding it in a different town for significantly cheaper, $2.80 a square foot less than what it was going in our town. So we were pretty lucky that had cut the cost down, because we did need about 1,300 square feet of it, because like I said, we did the whole main floor. But then once I started going and redoing all of this stuff, I ended up redoing my banisters and my stairs going down, as well as my stairs going up. And then I also redid my front door, and then none of the furniture matched anything that I had, so I ended up buying a couple new pieces, well, new to me pieces. They were all thrifted, and then I ended up redoing a lot of the pieces that I already had, just to cut down on cost. So in this video, I am just showing you a little bit of a before, what it all looked like, and I had put together all of my makeover videos that were on my home channel as well as on my DIY channel into this one, so you can see exactly how I did almost everything in this house. If there is anything that you have any questions on, anything that I have chosen and I did not mention, please let me know down in the comments, and I will try and answer it at the best that I can. Some of the stuff I don't well, most of the stuff I do remember. But like I said, a lot of the stuff we did ourselves. Speaking of doing ourselves, we did our own pot lights. We had an electrician, a friend of ours, just to kind of do an inspection once my husband installed everything to make sure that everything was to code. But he did all the work himself, which cut down significantly on cost. And as any other renovation, you have a budget and then it goes up and up and up. And just a little bit of history. The reason why we did do this renovation at the time that we did, we had a Samsung fridge that was giving us such a hard time for quite a while, and had a guy come in and look at it, and he said that I have to unplug it because he can't see anything and has to thaw out. So he was going to come back the next day to look at it. Needless to say, the fridge was empty because he was coming. We unplugged the fridge, went about our day. I was outside with the kids in the backyard when my daughter came running and said the fridge is leaking. I'm like, oh, no, it's not leaking. It's just probably the water because it's melting. Don't worry about it. She goes, I don't think so. Well, when I came in, there was water all through my kitchen, my dining room, going into my family room. So it had ruined the laminate in the family room. It had ruined the kitchen on the bottom everywhere, and then some of the kitchen got scratched when the insurance people came in and were removing stuff. So they ended up covering the cost of the kitchen and then also the flooring in the family room. But we figured, since we're already doing this, might as well do it the way we wanted. We were talking about doing it eventually. This has just kind of pushed us along to do so. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up. And let me know what you think. So as you can see, my floors are almost done. There are still a couple of rooms that we have not completed, but I'll show you that. So the floor that's going in is by Provenza Model Living Collection, and it is finally mine. It is the luxury vinyl plank. It's the click one, so pretty much the installation is very similar to laminate, but we have chosen this floor because of we wanted this to have the same floor all throughout the house, and it works well with water. So my front and my kitchen, my dogs are extremely slobbery when they drink, so I needed something to withstand the water, and I wasn't gonna put tile in my family room, and since I wanted all the same floor on the main floor, this was our best choice. I absolutely love the way it looks, and I can't wait once everything's done to really see how nice this floor is. So this is my front hallway, and we have completed living room, which is right here, and then all the way into the family room is done. And then over here, we still have to do the washroom and the mudroom and the closet. So we'll probably finish this today. So I had also taken down the paneling. Well, some of it I'm struggling with it. This one, I just have to unscrew and take it down. I do have plans for this room. This was added. It wasn't in my originally when I talked to you about all the plans I was doing, I did not include the mudroom, but I have some plans, which will be a video on its own as well. The one thing that's completed is the ceiling. I am replacing that light as well. This closet will no longer going to be my pantry, which was, if you've been watching this channel, it was my pantry. I'm going to make this a shoe closet because we have tons of shoes, and I find that this closet over here It just doesn't work for shoes very well. So this is gonna be a coat closet and then a whole bunch of stuff up there. And now I'm going to show you the bathroom. And I also decided to paint all the interior doors. So this door, I have removed a door here. I will not be replacing that door, and the front door in black, onyx by Benjamin Moore. So let's see, it's all yucky right now, but I just wanted to show you something. So we had installed a new countertop. This is quartz, but it has that concrete look. New sink and a faucet. I think I showed this last time when I was showing you all the things I bought. This is these two came from Amazon, and then I'm going to be putting black shiplap here. This is a really disgusting mirror, but I'm replacing the mirror. I'm going to be painting, spray painting the light fixture as well as the towel and the toilet paper rack. So this one's coming along pretty good. Oh, and I'm also going to replace the knobs. I did buy them, but I have no idea where they went. So then moving on, I'm not sure last time if I showed, but the stairs are done. Going downstairs, I have started with the banister here and upstairs and all the way going upstairs. They're gonna get the same look as the stairs going down to the basement. So I started working on that. That is turning out to be a process because it does take a while for the paint to cure. So we are saving all the cut-off pieces for ends. So this is, I just stack them according to which way they're facing and what they are. So in this room, as I mentioned before, we're gonna do board and batten, and then I'm going to do shiplap above the fireplace to make it look more custom. So I think that's gonna look really good. I'm going to keep this light here. The dining room is still the same. That will be next, but obviously I have to move everything out for the floor. But for now, that's staying like it is. I'm hoping to get this room completed by the weekend. So the couch from the living room is here now. So this room is pretty much done. Obviously it's not going to look like this. There's things in here that shouldn't be here, but pretty much done. It needs a trim, and I'm also replacing that light. And then I think the biggest change here is there's no more kitchen. I think last time when I showed this, there still was a kitchen here. So kitchen's removed. We had removed the backsplash, cut that out. That was a pretty big job. We had to replace all the drywall because you couldn't pull it off. We had installed, well, we actually had a plumber come and install a pot filler. So we're just making sure that doesn't leak before we close it up. We also have installed, my husband did, pot lights here. These are 4-inch pot lights. And then I'm going to have pendant lights here because this is where the island's going to go. And we also have, I'm not sure if I showed this, but we have pot lights here instead of the boob lights that were here. So this kitchen is almost ready to go. I've got electrical wires that aren't, the breaker is off, but they're for the valance lighting here. I'm going to have a pendant light go, it's a spotlight kind of going over there because I have floating shelves coming there. So that's it. There's a hole on the floor for the plumbing, and then this is the new plumbing. So we just covered it so the dogs don't hit themselves on the pipes coming up. And also, what else is here? So I've painted this. It is repose gray, just like everywhere else here. It's mindful gray in the living room and dining room. And just trying to make sure I say everything. Yeah, so kitchen cabinets pretty much will stop there, and they're gonna be all throughout, so that's why the paint is like that. We had to refix the wall, so that has to get some paint. I'm going to be placing a Faux Beam over here, so that's next. And I have talked to you, I think, about this wall. This is going to be black shiplap. So everything's coming together pretty good. I think I had covered everything so far. The kitchen's supposed to come the week after the July long weekend, so week of July 4th. And I can't wait. I am so tired. I think we've had, we pushed the last 2-3 weeks really hard to get things done. After all of our illnesses in April, that set us back a little bit. So, but yeah, I think we should be done. We're hoping to get the trim putting up by the end of the weekend. So we'll see. And we can put the floor in here until the kitchen comes in, because with vinyl plank, you're not supposed to put the kitchen on top. It has to be butt up against it. Because of the weight of the kitchen, it can bow the vinyl plank, and if you glue it, which some flooring guys recommend, then the flooring company will not honor warranty. So it's best that you don't put the kitchen on top. So we're gonna do that. For this entry was this piece that I have thrifted. It is actually a high-end dupe that I will be sharing over on my DIY channel. I really like this entryway table, but to get it would have cost me over $700. So the hunt started, and I found this piece for $150. It was a bit short, so I added some feet from Home Depot for $3 each, and gave it some paint and wax, and voila! It was a very budget-friendly makeover, coming under $200 total. I'm very happy. I will be sharing this makeover on my DIY channel later on this month. Now moving on, I wanted to give this door a pop of color. We're going to be using this black paint by Benjamin Moore in flat. It is actually called black. I totally think it works and it ties in the color scheme. I think it's going to be such an amazing pop of color at this entry. Painting this door is probably the quickest and easiest and most affordable way to add a pop of color to your home. I will be leaving the trim white, and I just gave it a light sanding where my old dog scratched it way before. I also just went over any uneven surfaces to smooth them out. Now that I have this first coat on, I am absolutely loving the look even more than I thought I would. As you saw, I used rollers, which gave it such a smooth finish. It took about 2.5 coats to complete the project. We have also picked up new hardware for the door that my husband installed, and I think it looks amazing. I just need the humidity to go away so I can paint the outside as well. That will most likely be a fall project. So giving this door a makeover with paint made such a huge difference. We still have few touch-ups to do and add some trim to the bottom, but as of right now, it is looking so good. Since we finished all the DIY project for this entryway, now it's time to bring it all together with styling it and decorating it. I have been shopping around for all different pieces to decorate this space to really tie together all the colors and textures. So let's start by bringing in all the new pieces and bring this space together. I have gotten a new rug for my entryway. It is from IKEA, and I will link it down below for you to check it out if that's something that you're looking for. I absolutely love these type of rugs. It is 4 feet by 4 inches and 6 feet by 5 inches in dimension, and it is called Lohels, and it's flat woven in natural color. It's like a jute sisal rug type of rug. I also purchased an anti-slip underlay, and not realizing it was made of synthetic rubber, which I cannot use because apparently the rubber chemical and the chemical of my vinyl floor, which is luxury vinyl, it kind of interacts together, and it can cause some discoloration of the vinyl floor, and also the warranty is voided, so I cannot use it. Well, I don't want to actually take chances, so I will try and find a different one to use. I have also brought back the old mirror because I do feel that every entryway needs to have a mirror, and it kind of reflects the colors and the color scheme over from the living room into it, and I just think it's another thing that ties everything together.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon needs the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. I don't know what I'd do without you. You make me smile, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon is the snow, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it miss you.
I am just about done styling and I cannot wait to reveal this space to you. We started with this transformation with a thrifted piece that we had transformed to something beautiful, and using that as our inspiration to transform this entire front entryway. And I hope you love it as much as I do. I love how this space turned out, and I love that it is the first thing you see when you walk in to my home. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope it gave you some inspiration for your space. Let me know down below what is your entryway like, and big or small, and if you got some ideas and inspiration for your space. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you did, and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out any more of my makeover videos. I love you guys, and I thank you all so much for watching. From boring to moody. Hi there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Sonja, and today I can't wait to share with you my small bathroom makeover. It is one of my favorite makeovers yet, and I am so excited to share it with you. We're going to be doing a transformation on this tiny bathroom. It is going to be very dramatic, and I am doing it on a budget. So let's get started. The very first thing that I have done was paint the ceiling. I was painting all the other ceilings on the main floor, so I did that first. Then we ended up removing a cabinet because we had a guy coming in to remove the tiles, so we had to remove the cabinet and the toilet. We did, however, install the toilet temporarily after the floor was removed, just so that way we could use the toilet at least, even though there was not a sink. I probably should have painted this wall before reinstalling the cabinet back in, but I had a hard time deciding on which paint to go with, so we ended up adding the cabinet. And then I had ordered this quartz countertop. It is by called Storm by Caesar Stone, and I absolutely love the way this stone looks. The sink and the faucet that are in this room came from Amazon. They came in under $120. They were very budget friendly. And then we also decided to use our leftover shiplap from our fireplace, which I will link the video at the end, to add it to here to add more drama to the wall. I also spray painted with bare chalk paint all of my towel holder, as well as a toilet paper holder, just to cut on to save on some spending. I did paint the room in Meaningful Gray from Sherwin-Williams, and the shiplap wall was painted black by Benjamin Moore. I have also purchased this mirror at Home Depot for $69 and added it there. I was contemplating about painting it, but this had kind of set up the whole mood for this room. Then once that was all set up, I did end up giving the wall a fresh coat of paint. And to also save money, I ended up spray painting. Now, this is not the way I recommend spray painting doorknobs. You should probably just go ahead, remove them, and spray paint them outside or whatnot. I did turn on the fan and open the door in my mudroom. I just wanted this done. I didn't want it to fiddle with taking it apart. But I do suggest taking it apart and spray painting. So I use that same bare black chalk paint to spray paint both the inside knob and the outside knob. Again, to save on cost, I am planning on replacing all of the knobs in the house, one at a time, slowly, but right now with all the other spending that we've had with this reno, I decided just to spray paint it. Because it's chalk paint, it doesn't take long to dry, but I did want to remove the tape right after I was done spray painting, just so I don't get any dryness and then just ripping off paint. You want to be very careful when removing the tape so you don't swoosh the paint off the doorknob like I did, but I did end up fixing it. It wasn't a very hard fix. So while the paint on the doorknob was drying, I decided to paint the caulking that my husband added between the wall and the countertop. This wall wasn't extremely square, so it was the countertop fit very well at the back, and it was a little bit more space at the front. So we decided to fill it with caulking. I struggled with the paint of the caulking, which paint to go with. I was thinking black, maybe gray, but then we decided just to go with white and one that you can paint it the same color as the wall, and I am very happy with the way this turned out. And since I had the paint open, I went ahead and touched up any other paint in this room that needed to be touched up, like around my outlets, and also around the toilet paper and a towel holder.
I know that I haven't been who I was. I am supposed to be the one you can trust. I feel so useless 'cause I let you down. I hope there's some way I can make it.
Now it was time to paint the door. I am using Benjamin Moore Decorators White, which is all the trim in my house. All the other doors that aren't painted black are painted in this color, as well as the color of my kitchen. So I wanted to have kind of the same white color going throughout the house. I used a roller to paint the door, and then any other little crevices that I needed to fill in, I used a brush.
I can make it alright, 'cause I know that you deserve much more than this. If you give me one more chance, I swear I'll try my best to always be there.
I also painted the trim on the inside and on the outside, and I also had my husband add the other piece of the trim that was missing, that he removed when he was taking out the cabinet because it was too tight and he could not take it out without removing the trim. So he reinstalled the trim, and I painted that as well.
And I want you to know that I'm lost without you. I'm known without you.
Now this is something that I probably should have done before I painted the trim and the door, but I had realized I forgot to paint the hardware of the door black as well, because I think it would look silly if it was gold and the knob was black. So I took my Annie Sloan Athenian black chalk paint, which is extremely close to the spray paint, in the black spray paint I was using, and I just used a brush and painted it on. This did take about 3 coats to cover up completely, because the paint wasn't sticking very well, but then with the 3-coat application, it did cover it up really well. So I did the inside of the hardware as well as the outside of the hardware of the door, and then also don't forget to do it right around the closing part of the door at the side of the door. So I went ahead and took the tape off of here. That way the countertop is ready. There was a little bit of water there from just the countertop getting wet, so it didn't make the paint bleed a little bit, but it was a quick fix. I just wiped it. So once that was all done, I proceeded onto my cabinet. I had bought new handles for the cabinet. They were the long ones instead of having the knobs, and I just picked those up at Home Depot. I think they were like $4.99, so a very inexpensive upgrade to this cabinet. I used a drill just to drill the other hole at the, because there was already one hole, so I just used a drill for the other one. And to get the hole properly, which camera did not catch it, I did mark off where the holes were using a tape over the handle, and then I taped that onto the door, lining up the top hole that was already there, so that way I can get as straight of a line as possible. I didn't want to bore you with all this drilling, but here is the end result, and I absolutely love the way this cabinet looks. I think it just elevated the look for it. To save even more on cost, I redid this light. It was stainless steel color, and then I had spray painted and added some gold. I will have all of my bathroom DIYs in one video over on my DIY channel next week, so make sure you check that out. So now the fun part starts, and I'm going to just give it some cleaning before I start decorating it. I wanted to wipe this mirror down. I struggle with cleaning this mirror so much, even not this one necessarily, but the old one that was here. Always, no matter what I used, I had streaks. So I'm gonna see if I can find something. If there is anything that you can suggest to me to use, I have even tried turning off the light and cleaning it in dark, because I do know that sometimes dark the light will cause streaks. But that did not work either. I also wanted to wipe down the sink and also the countertop. So yes, so please let me know if there's anything that you can, any tricks or any products that for me to try. I've tried Method, Windex, vinegar and water, and Dawn dish soap, and all of it leaves streaks. So let me know if there's anything you know of that can help me with this.
I've been so selfish and made you believe that you're not good enough, but you're all I need. I take you places that you've never been. I would give you the world if you let me try again. Yeah, just give me one more chance. I swear I'll try my best to always be there. And
most of the decor that I'm adding to this room, I shop my home for. One thing that I did end up buying is I purchased a set of amber bottles in different sizes. They're the glass bottles. They're a little bit taller. I used a bigger one for the bathroom because it's a little bit taller than the pump from the Bath and Body Works. And as you can see, the sink is quite tall, so I wanted it to be a little bit taller. I might still put it on some sort of a pedestal just to elevate it even more. But I bought these because I want to use them in my kitchen as well. So I thought this was a good time to purchase these. And I am just going to refill it with the soap that I already have. And to get all the soap out, I did add a little bit of water into the Bath and Body container, just to swoosh it all out and make sure that all the soap is out of it, and add it to the new bottle.
Don't know what to do if you go.
So I do really like with the way the counter looks. I think it's neat but very bold and moody. So now on to the other side, I am adding my scones back. You could see what these look like at the beginning, but if you want to get the full tutorial on how I made them over, that will be in the next week's video over on my DIY channel, as well as this little crate box that I'm going to be adding here. This was always here. I liked having it here just to hold a little bit of a little piece of decor with some extra toilet paper as well as a room spray. Now, I was thinking about making some DIY room sprays with essential oils. Let me know if that's something that you have done, and what type of did you use any carrier oil? Did you use vinegar or just water? I would love to know. So I hope you had enjoyed this makeover. I am very happy with the way it turned out. I did not spend a lot of money. The most money I spent was on a counter, which was about $300. It was a remnants piece, but all the other supplies came in under $200. So I could not be happier with the result. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and a notification bell. I have tons more makeovers coming your way, and I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.
I just don't know what to do if you go.
That was done to this living room was a removal of laminate floor. My husband and my son did this actually while I was on a shopping day trip with some of my girlfriends. This was very hard to do. The laminate did come off pretty easy, and I can attest to that because I did help remove the rest of the rooms a couple days later. There were no staples to remove. We've done that when we first installed the laminate, so that was nice, and the floor was ready for the flooring. Then we ended up going on a trip, ended up getting COVID, so the floor didn't get installed for a little while. We did go with a luxury vinyl plank, and I have chosen a Modern Living collection, Provenza Modern Living collection in Finally Mine, and I absolutely love this floor. Then we added some 6-inch baseboards as well as some board and batten, and we decided to add some shiplap around the fireplace because fireplace is electric, and I wanted to make it look more custom. I have painted half the wall in Meaningful Gray by Sherwin-Williams, and I used a Benjamin Moore paint. I just had them made up in that shade, and then board and batten and shiplap were painted by Decorators White because that is the color that will be my kitchen. So all of my trim, shiplap, most of the shiplap and board and batten are painted in Decorators White, and I think this just looks so great with the floor and everything together. So once everything was done, we put the furniture back in, and now it was time to give it a good cleaning because of all the sawdust and things, especially around the windows. So I took all the screens off and gave the windows a good cleaning. I only did clean on the inside because it was kind of a rainy day outside on and off, so I will get to cleaning the outside windows later on.
Nobody told me to settle down. Day nights and late nights don't get around. There's something about you I like, about you I like. You're crazy for saying I should slow and almost left town. But there's something about you I like, about you I like. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say the obvious.
I also decided to vacuum out my couch as well as the chairs just to get some of that dust off. I was contemplating about washing the furniture as well, which I will probably do once I purchase the carpet cleaning solution, because I did not have that, so I could not clean it. But I have a little Bissell spot cleaner that works really well for the furniture cleaning.
Drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say the obvious. Nobody loves me better, yeah. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say
And now I'm going to add some of the pillows. Now these pillows have all come with this couch. Now speaking of this couch, as much as it's a super comfortable couch, I do find that it's not really working for this room anymore the way I would like it to. However, I did purchase new couches that I am still waiting on for my family room, and with all the other spending that we've been doing, replacing this furniture will have to wait, because there's no more money to be spent. I'm also putting back this little side table that I had upcycled a while back. Now I just did give it a new makeover over on my DIY channel if you want to see, just so it fits in with the cord that I'm going with now. I am also adding all of my covers back for the outlets. As you can see it right by the thermostat, I had removed them obviously for painting, so they needed to be put back, so I'm just adding them as I go. I'm also going to be adding back the pictures that were here. Now I did have 6 of them. Unfortunately, the board and batten, I can only fit 3, so I will have to find spots for the other 3 somewhere else. But I am adding the pictures from the cottage that we rented for many years, as well as my dog that had passed away. This was where I wanted to put some of the photos of him, so I'm putting those back up here. Now the fireplace, I think it turned out really, really nice. I did end up giving the fireplace a fresh coat of paint in that decorator's white, just so everything ties in together, because once I had painted the shiplap and the board and batten around it, the white color that was on it ended up looking a little bit of yellow. And this is actually why I ended up painting all of the trim in the whole house, as well as the stairs and the back of the stairs in this decorator's white, because I was worried that mixing a couple different shades of white would make one go either too yellow or too gray, and I just wanted everything to flow well together. I did give the fireplace a good dusting, because I haven't dusted since it was painted, and with all the construction, the dust was piling up like crazy everywhere. And I am using method cleaning products. I'm using the window cleaner as well as the wood polish to clean all of this furniture and fireplace and windows. I've decided that I wanted to move this lamp that I had. Actually, if you've been following along, you know the base was white. It used to be yellow, then I painted it white, and now I had added some antiquing wax, so it has a bit of a wood look to it. You can find that video along with the video of it's the same video of the makeover of the side table over on my DIY channel if you want to see how I did those. It's just a quick and easy upcycles without spending much money, but giving it the look that you want. Usually beforehand, before YouTube, before all this stuff, I used to just either donate it or give it to somebody in my family, or sometimes they would throw it in trash, the decor that was no longer working for me. But over the years, I have started upcycling items, so that way I can prolong their life with me, I guess. So like I said, I am dusting everything because there has been a lot of dust, and once that's all completed, we're gonna get to decorating.
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready? Let me be honest, I don't know a single thing that I haven't done to make you notice me. Let me be real here. When I see you, my heart starts racing, but I don't know if I like this chasing and playing and waiting around. It's a shame that my hands start shaking all of the time when you're around me. But this time, girl, I know what's bothering me. I need somebody to love. Oh, nah, 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 nah. Don't you see what's wrong with me? I need somebody to love. Oh, oh, nah, nah. I don't know what I could say to.
So I'm bringing back the mirror that was here. I just think it looks really good over the shiplap, even better than it did before. However, I did overestimate myself and could not hang it up by myself, so my husband did come to give me a hand.
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready? Let me be honest, I don't know a single thing that I haven't done to make you notice me. Let me be real here. When I see you, my heart starts racing, but I don't know if I like this chasing and playing and waiting around. It's a shame that my hands start shaking all of the time when you're around me. But this time, girl, I know what's bothering me. I need somebody to love. Oh, heart starts racing, but I don't know if I like this chasing and playing and waiting around. It's a shame that my hands start shaking all of the time when you're around me. But this time, girl, I know what's bothering me. I need somebody to love. Oh, nah, 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 nah. Don't you see what's wrong with me? I need somebody to love. Oh, oh, nah, nah. God, I'm sick of this waiting. You got me going crazy tonight. So why don't you come on over and be my somebody to love? Somebody to love, somebody to love, somebody. I need somebody. I need somebody. Give me somebody, somebody to love.
I am adding this blanket back in here. I think I did have it here around Easter time, and I do love the coloring in here. It is kind of pulling all the blacks and the light colors that I have throughout the house, and I think it just gives the couch so much of a better look than it has right now. So over on in the corner, typically I had that lamp there, but I decided just to add a little bit of greenery on there. I'm pretty sure that's where the urn's gonna go. Right now it's downstairs in my office, and once the kids notice it's gone from the room, they will quickly put it back in the room. It is an urn that holds the ashes of my late dog, so the kids still are quite attached to that, so it always makes its way back into my living room. So now I'm going to decorate the fireplace. I wanted to keep it very earthy, natural, and simple. I didn't want to overpack it with decor. This piece of driftwood that I have in the middle of the fireplace did come from that cottage that we rented for many years. The cottage ended up getting sold and is no longer available for rent, but I think we rented it for 7 years straight. So last time we were there, I did pick up a couple driftwoods and brought them home. One is here, and then there's another one in my backyard in my garden. So this room kind of has all those cottage sentimental things in here. And it used to be Buddy's favorite place to vacation as well. So I did feel that the side table was missing a little something, so I ended up getting this little basket from downstairs. I've had it. It is by Good Picks. I will link it down below. You can get it on Amazon. They are great, and they are not very expensive. So I ended up adding that over here and just adding this pot in it. It doesn't quite fill in the pot, but I don't think it looks bad at all. Now moving on to the coffee table, I think I am a bit of a creature of habit, and I am putting back the truck that I've had here for about a good year now, just kind of switching around what's inside of it. I did add some lemons. However, off the camera, I did end up adding some paper towel underneath the lemons just to raise them up, so I didn't have to add as many lemons to make it look full. And then I also added the candle, the urn, I think that's what it's called, candle holder there as well. And I like the fact that it has tons of wood on it to kind of tie in all that light wood that's gonna go throughout my house. And over here on the side table, I put back a couple pictures that I always had. I did remove, I think, 2 of them just so it's not as crowded as it used to be, and just added a little bit greenery for added texture, and just added a little bit of color to this space as well. So once this was all kind of put together, I was feeling that the corner over there between the 2 windows was a little empty, because at this time I don't have any curtains up there. I still haven't decided which way to go with the curtains. I am thinking I might go buy the drop cloth and make the drop cloth curtains. I think those would look really good, but I haven't quite decided yet. So I did bring up this pepper plant DIY that I created over on my DIY channel again, just to add a little bit of extra texture and color into that corner as well. And now to finish off my cleaning and decorating with me, I gave it a good vacuum, and then I have been actually enjoying vacuuming this floor just because I love it so much. And then I have ended up purchasing a new mop. I went with the Bona mop because after doing extensive research on what is the best to clean the floors, these vinyl floors, this one seemed to be popping up quite a bit, so I thought I'd give it a try. And the solution that I'm using is for a hard floor solution. It's not for hardwood floor, it's just for hard floor solution, and it supposed to be natural as well, which I like using because of the dogs. So here is the finished product. I do love the way this room turned out. I think it's very cozy, very earthy, kind of natural feeling. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you had enjoyed it, and there are many more coming your way, tons of different makeovers. And I'm going to actually insert a before picture here so you kind of see what the room looked like before the makeover, and then I'm going to include a picture for after the makeover. So if this is your first time stopping by my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss these videos that are coming up. Those of you returning, thank you so much for your continuing support and for being patient with me, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how we created a faux beam to go up between our kitchen and family room. We already had a beam up there. It was drywalled. It was a metal beam, and it was drywalled, and we attempted to remove the drywall, but it was so glued on that we just decided it'll just have to be dressed instead of removed. So I bought a 12-foot pine, long foot pine, and this is a rough cut pine. I did not sand it or anything like that. We just put it up with screws and some wood glue. And then the middle one, we did have to trim off a little bit off of one side, but that was actually what we trimmed off fit perfectly into the gap that the bottom one, the way the bottom one fit, there was a gap, and the piece that we cut off we fit in there. And then we used Elmer's wood glue filler to fill everything in and sand it, all of it down. This cost us $120 to do. I wanted to stain this to go with the same stain as the top of my stairs. If you have not seen that video, I will link it at the end if you want to check that out, how I restain my stairs. However, because this was so rough, the stain just wasn't going on the way I would have liked it to. I should have known, but I thought maybe it was going to be different. I actually don't know what I thought. So I ended up just rubbing it in at certain areas without worrying to cover it all up, because I had figured out that this wasn't going to happen. So I just, like I said, just added it in certain areas and tried to rub it across and just kind of create darker wood tones throughout the wood is what I ended up doing. I used a rug and a bristle brush to apply the stain. I could not use a foam brush because as soon as I put the foam brush against the rough wood, it would just fall apart. So I used a bristle brush and then a rag to just spread everything around. I mentioned that I was using the same stain as I did for my stairs, but if you haven't seen my stairs, the stain that I am using is General Finishes gel stain in stain black. Probably would have worked a little bit easier has it been not a gel stain, but this is what I had on hand, so I just wanted to use it. So once it had a time to dry, and I did not need to give it 24 hours, I did, just because the way the timing worked, you could have probably went ahead and did the next step within 4 hours. So next I'm going to be applying white wax. It is by Annie Sloan. This will give it almost like a little bit liming effect, or more like just lightening up certain areas. I got the idea from Pinterest, and I did like the way the project that they were working on turned out, so I wanted to try it out here since the full staining did not work. And as you can see, at that time, I had no kitchen. Everything was taken apart. The walls were torn out. The floors were torn out. So I thought this was a good time to do this messy project.
Getting closer, but it will never last down here by the ocean.
To apply it, I am using a chalk paint brush or chalk wax brush. I have them linked in my Amazon store, and I will link them down below if you want to check out which ones I was using. And then I just used a rag just to spread the wax around a little bit more and kind of get it more into all the little grooves and all the little accents that the wood had, because like I said, it was rough sawed, so it had a lot of character, and I wanted to accent that. So I'm going to show you in just a second how this looks with the white wax on it. So as you can see, it just made certain areas a little bit lighter, and really is showing all the imperfections of this wood, or all the beautiful accents of this wood. So here's the whole piece done in that white wax, and I really liked the way this looked, but it wasn't quite at the stage that I wanted it to be. So there is still one more step that I want to do.
Looking to the rising sun, this is where we belong. We belong. A new day will soon begin. That's what I've been here for all along.
So the last step that I did, back starting in the same corner as the other one, and I did give it again 24 hours to dry before I started on the next step. I am applying now the antiquing wax, which is a brownish color, same brand Annie Sloan, the same way as I did the white wax, where I'm brushing it. And I'm not going to use the rag too much, maybe just to clean it up if there's big clumps, but I'm just using the antiquing brush just to get into all the little grooves of the wood, instead of using the rag. This just helps. I didn't want it to rub it too much where I'm actually going to be rubbing off the white wax in case if it didn't completely cure. I'm just going to use the rag just simply to take off some of the clumps and uneven areas that maybe the brush has left. So I'm going to show you just what it looked like with white wax again, just so you have can see it again. And this is what the antiquing wax did. So the white is still showing through, but now it's adding a more of a, in my opinion, a barn board look. Here is the full piece up close, and this is what it looks like in my almost finished kitchen. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This is one of those DIY projects that cost so very little and have such a huge impact. I have yet to come across a person that hasn't come into my home and commented on it. If you had enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Well, hello my friends, and welcome to yet another DIY home project. Today I am going to be tackling my front door. If you've been following along, I have complained about this door looking the way it does. Let me just show you. It is little beat up. We looked into getting a new doors putting in, but they are about a year and a half waiting period to get a new door, and there's also the little thing called price. So for the door that I really want, we're looking between 16 and 20,000 for a double door, and unfortunately at this time I do not have that kind of money to spend. So here comes my little DIY project. The door is still in fairly good condition. We did fix it up a little bit, added some caulking where needed, so right there, and then there was some underneath, and then also filled in this little piece that broke off. So just like I said, did little touch-ups to it just to make it look a little bit better. So let me share with you the products that I'm going to be using. So for because my door is so dark, I need to have some sort of either a light primer, or I had actually picked up this, it was a mist tint paint at Lowe's actually, and it was 50% off, so it came at like $7. So I thought this will work good, and it is it's a paint and primer. It's resistant to fading, cracking, and peeling, and it is formulated to resist mildew, growth on the paint film, and it's made for Canadian winters. That's what it said. And then so that will be just used as a primer, just to cover up the dark brown, to lighten it up a little bit. And then I'm going to go with my Minwax gel stain And I decided to go with an aged oak look. So I hope I picked the right stain. I was a little bit not sure which one, but I looked at a couple different options and I really liked the way this one looked. You will also need, for my door, tape to tape around the windows, a rag to wipe off any excess gel stain, something to clean your door with before painting. Then I have a paintbrush and a paint roller, and then I'm going to be using these two, planning on using these two for staining the door. And then I need a paint tray. I need to create a door that's similar to what I want to buy, and I hope you enjoyed this makeover, because I absolutely love the way it turned out. So you're just gonna have to stick around till the end to see. I also want to mention, if you're stopping by my channel for the very first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button and a notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. I am mixing in fall decor DIYs with tons of home renos, little DIYs that we have done to cut cost on our renovation. So without further ado, let's get started working on this door. So the first thing that I did is obviously clean the door up, made sure there were no cobwebs, dog hair, or anything on the door that might prevent the paint from sticking. I am just using a regular all-purpose cleaner. I think I was using a Method one, smelled like lavender, which was wonderful, and just a microfiber cloth to wipe it all down. So once the door was clean, I proceeded to taping the door. This project took me a whole day to do, and I pretty much started at 7 a.m. and was done around 5 p.m. I ended up not having enough tape, and because it was 7 a.m. in the morning, I could not go out and buy some. I did go out later on, and I used tape for the second part of this project. So once I figured out I did not have enough paint, I just moved on and started painting the door. I wish I could tell you what the color of the tint of that paint is, but it didn't say on it, but it was like an off-white, creamy white paint. I think any light color would work. If it was like brown, like gray, peachy color, you know, I mean, I wouldn't go with pink or any of the reddish tones, but I think if you stay like grays and browns and whites and make them creamy, it would work. This brown was a little too dark for what I was going for, so I did need it to lighten it up a little bit. So I only applied one coat of this paint because that's all it needed. It actually worked really well. I've never bought this type of paint before, and I was quite pleased with the coverage that the one coat did.
We don't belong here. I want more out of life. The longer we stay here, our boots get stuck in the mud. Let's pack up a life, baby, and call it a night. 'Cause the longer we stay here, the harder the fight. I said, hey, yeah, 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 call it a start by leaving behind what's breaking our hearts. I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark. Ain't nothing but a one way.
So here's what the one coat looks like, and like I said, I'm just going to do the one coat. And now I had come back from the store and taped up the rest of the door because I'm going to start applying the gel stain now, and I really needed everything to be covered just so I don't have to worry about wiping it off or using that little spatula thing to not to get the stain on, because I'm going to be rubbing some stain off and doing all sorts of stuff. So I really needed to tape this up. So I was really scared to do this part. I mean, I worked with gel stain obviously before. If you watched my stair makeover, I did lots of furniture makeovers with the gel stain. Now this was a min-wax gel stain. I only worked with general finishes before, so it was a little bit of a different texture. The first brush didn't quite work out as well as I thought it would. I'm not sure if there was just stuff on it that it wasn't applying the stain well. So I did try to go with a brush and then rub the stain in just to see what that would look like, and I didn't love it, so I did end up just using a brush and brushing everything on and just removing any stain that if there was like a blob of stain or anything with a rag. But other than that, I just used a brush to apply it, and I just went in one direction for all the doors, both doors in the same direction.
We won't regret this. Let's kiss the past goodbye. I'm longing to live this free life I've been hearing about. You will see us howling like wolves in the night. 'Cause nothing is stronger than wanting what you might get. I said, hey, yeah, 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 call it a start by leaving behind what's breaking our hearts. I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark. Ain't nothing but a one way. Ain't no worries, ain't no worries. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you? Oh, 'cause as long as we're together, home can be a million different things. I said, hey, yeah, 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 call it a start by leaving behind what's breaking our hearts. I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark. Ain't nothing but a one way. Hey, yeah, 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 call it a start by leaving behind what's breaking our hearts. I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark. Ain't nothing but a one way. Ain't nothing but a one way.
So here is what it looks like after the first coat. Now I did let this dry for, I would say, almost 4 hours before I went ahead and applied the second coat of the stain. Now the rule of thumb is you don't want it to be sticky anymore before you start applying a second coat. And for the second coat, I did exactly the same thing as I did for the first coat. Just went in the same direction with a brush, and it's like a chippy brush. But before I started with the second coat on the door, I decided to do the frame of the door as well in the same stain, just so that way it looks like it's all same material. And here is what the door looks like. Now the sun was beating right down on it, and I felt like it was giving it a bit of a reddish tone, but it has no redness in it whatsoever, in my opinion. But I am so super pleased how this turned out. I think it's going to buy me a few years for sure until I'm ready to purchase those 2 new doors. And who knows, by then my style might totally change. You never know. So I'm also going to show you how it looks in a when the sun's not beating down on it. So here it is. Like I said, I just love the way this turned out. I hope you had enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and if you are subscribed, make sure that notification bell is on as well, so that way you get notified when all these new videos come up. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much for to be taking along as I make over this laundry room. I made over this laundry room several years ago, and as you can see, it's really not functioning the way I want it to anymore. The paint needs some refresh. I want to add some backsplash, so I thought this would be perfect time to do it. It was raining outside for the whole weekend, so I dedicated it to this laundry. I started off with clearing everything. I had taken everything off and everything out besides the washing machines and the sink. I did not move those at this time just because the space is so tight and it is so hard to do. Once I had everything taken off, I proceeded in mudding the walls, mudding the holes in the around the frame and the kitchen, the cabinets. I wanted to mud these extra 2 holes that I had on this door from when my husband was trying to figure out where to put the handles several years back. So I wasn't going to paint the cabinets, but I really loved the color of the trim that I picked out, which is actually the color of the kitchen that I will be putting in this year. So I wanted all of my trims to match that color. So I ended up buying a big gallon of this paint for that reason, because I will be using it in all my trims downstairs. So there was no point of buying a different color trim paint for the laundry room. So I decided to paint the cabinets as well. For the mudding, I just used the regular, that fast dry mudding compound, and for the wood and the cabinets, I am actually using a wood putty, kind of wood, I guess a wood compound. I ended up not taking this off and taping around it, but then you'll see I switch it around because I decided I wanted to paint that as well. So I ended up taping the wall around it instead of taking it off. Probably would have been a lot faster to just take it off instead of going and taping all this stuff around it, but nevertheless, I did tape the wall. The reason for taping the wall, even though I am painting it, is because I did not want, I find that sometimes the spray paint can be a little tacky, and I didn't want it to affect painting the wall, so I just added this paper to it just to protect it. And I use just a bare spray paint in black to paint that because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to have it in black. And then I also did the handles. I did this for my bathroom 2 years ago where I spray painted all my hardware and nothing had worn off. They're still looking the same as they were looking before. So I thought I'd do it here as well. For the paint, I did pick up Benjamin Aura paint, and I am painting the trim in the Decorator's White by Benjamin Moore, and it's a trim paint, and I did it in semi-gloss. And for the room, I am painting it in the color of the year, which is October Mist, and again I did go with the Aura paint. Now it is their most expensive paint, but after doing so many different paint jobs throughout the house, I just find it's worth every penny. I only did 1 coat of it in this room, and that's all it needed. It does have a primer in it as well, and the coverage is phenomenal. So that gallon of paint does go a very long way because you don't need much to cover up. I used to love Valspar paint, but I have noticed when I was painting my basement with it that it was not going as smooth as it used to, and I was no longer as impressed I used to be. My whole house is painted in Wellspar paint until I repainted the basement, and then I painted my daughter's room with Benjamin Moore Aura paint, and I think that's what it's called. And then I decided that it worked so much better. I have to tell you guys, I am so impressed with myself at how well I cut these lines. I did not have to tape the ceiling or around any of the frames. I did purchase a 2-inch brush from Benjamin Moore, and it worked amazing. I did not mess up the ceiling anywhere except from painting, except when I was moving the chair, I had moved the paintbrush and ended up touching the ceiling with it, and that was the only mess up I had. But as far as painting around all the cabinets and corners and all that stuff, I did not need tape at all. For the roller, it is a Benjamin Moore roller. I think it's their in-house foam roller, and I like it. It works just fine. So I let the paint dry for several hours before I went around it and just made sure that I did not miss any spots, and wherever I missed a spot, I just used the trimming brush to fill it in, and that's all I had to do. It did not require a second coat. So while I was waiting for the paint to dry, I did go ahead and take off the counter, which you saw me taking off at the beginning, and I cleaned it, wiped it down, but I left it wet a little bit. It's just easier to move this shelf liner around, and I ended up covering it in this shelf liner that I had picked up at the Dollarama. I know that this is not a permanent solution, but I really wanted a wood counter. I was hoping to find a tabletop the same size as this one. This came from IKEA. And I know that they have a wood look one, but I wasn't able to find the same size anymore. I do not know whether they were out of stock and just didn't have it in online, or they discontinued it. And then to order a new butcher block or a laminate countertop that looks like wood, it would take too long. And to be honest with you, it wasn't in the budget to spend that much, since I am, like I said, renovating my whole main floor, and I just did not want to spend that kind of money. So I know this is like putting lipstick on a pig. It is a temporary solution, but I think it turned out really nice. Now, one of the most main transformations that I did in this room was these tiles. Now, Komami.com has reached out and offered to send me these lovely tiles. I picked out the pattern that I wanted to, and they sent me enough to do this room. So I want to thank them for that, and I will have them linked down below for you to check them out if you wanted to get them yourself. These, I have to tell you, were very easy to work with, much better quality than the ones you would get at the dollar store. They have a texture of a tile on the outside. They're fairly thick, but not overly thick. They were easy to cut because I had a lot of cutting to do around the cabinet and then around the outlet as well. And he also came with a really nice smoothing tool to work with, and they fit in perfectly together, the patterns with each other. So I did do this around my washing machine and a dryer, and I wrapped it around the sink, and it took probably about 2 hours to do the whole project. And it just simply took 2 hours because I did make a couple mistakes in cutting, just figuring which side to cut, and the tops, the sides, and all that stuff. It was me more than the product itself. But like I said, it was very easy to work with, went on really well. I did want to put it on the other side, and I played around with it a little bit, and then I didn't like the way it looked, so I ended up removing it. I did not catch this on camera, but I removed it, and it did rip off some of the paint that I had to mud it as well. So it is a very good hold, just so you know. So make sure that you are certain of your cut and the positioning before you actually glue it on, so that way you don't have to redo your paint or anything like that. So like I said, there will be a link to the website down in the description box, and there are tons of different designs to choose from. Like I said, they have tons and tons of different designs to choose from. So check it out. I also want to mention that a full tutorial video will be over on my DIY YouTube channel, Domestic Diva DIY, if you need more details on how to do this. And I want to say that this is a first video of my home renovation series that I'm starting on this channel. And so this is the number one. I will have the playlist linked in the description box, and also you can just check it out in the playlist section of my YouTube channel. And this is where I'm going to be placing all of my home renovation videos and plans that I will be sharing with you. So it is all finished, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I think it added so much to this room, so much character, and like could not be more happy with the way it turned out. Now it's time to put the room back together. So I'm going to start with adding my handles to the doors, and then I'm also going to be getting my counter back on and just kind of seeing how the counter and the tiles and the paint look all together. I love the look of the counter, the way it looks. So I'm definitely going to be on a hunt for a piece of actual countertop that's in wood or laminated wood that fits perfectly into this space. I had to continuously keep turning my dryer on because birds have gotten into my vent, and I don't want to burn them, so I would just turn the dryer on just to blow them out. And I had this problem last year, and my husband put a little cage around the vent outside, but because there's not a lot of room for all that lint to kind of go, so it all kind of clogged up the little cage, so he had to open it, and then he left it open and the birds got in, but it was raining, so he couldn't go out and get them out because it's on the second floor. So and he's a little bit afraid of heights, and then you add the rain to it, so we were waiting for a sunny day for both of us to go out and deal with it, seeing if we can buy a bigger cage to put around the vent, so that way the lint doesn't get all clogged up in it, and it can actually maybe just blow out. So now I'm going to be getting to the funnest part of this makeover, and it's decorating and organizing it. I had picked up these bottles at Dollarama. They were $3 each, and I picked up 4 because I have 3 different laundry detergents that I use, and then I also have a fabric softener that I wanted to add to here. And then I also picked up a couple glass jars with the lid, and these are going to be for my OxyClean and my scent boosters. And then the big one, this one was $4, and I'm going to put some dryer balls in there. And then I had purchased this a while ago on Etsy. They are editable labels. They were very inexpensive. I think I paid like $5 for them because they were on sale. And it just saved me so much time than going in and designing them myself, which I totally can, but this was just easier. And then all I have to do is edit what's going in there. And the reason why I had purchased this is because this is the way I want to do my labels in my kitchen once I'm organizing it. So I was lucky that I got to use it for my laundry room. Now, I did not have any sticker sheets, which I do highly recommend to get a full size of sticker sheet, the Avery sticker sheets that you can print on, so that way you don't have to Mod Podge them on like I was doing. But I didn't have any on hand. I didn't feel like going back to the store to get some, so this was a quick solution. Now, these I can also adjust the size, and if I was redoing these again, I would definitely make these a little smaller just so they would go around these bottles better. They went around the glass ones much better, the smaller ones, without any wrinkles, but with these I did struggle a little bit with them just to smooth them out. Now I wanted to put stuff while those were drying, the Mod Podge was drying on those. I wanted to clean my cupboards up. There was some, and this is primarily the reason why I was putting my detergents into these bottles, because I do buy the large ones for the fabric softener and detergent. And I don't like using them and how they end up dripping and all this stuff, and the little containers get all dirty unless I'm washing them every single time. So I think this is a better solution. But I wanted to clean out the cupboards because I'm going to put the other bottles still in there, the leftovers that did not fit into the other ones. And then I'm also want to organize all the things that were on these cupboards. So I picked up these, were $4 at Dollarama. I picked up 2 of those, and then I also went ahead and picked up all the same white bins because I needed the other bins that were on here for some other organizational things that I'm doing in the basement. So this worked out good, and that way I was able to have them all match and be the same color. So I'm going to be placing in my clear ones all of my steamer pads, and then in the other one are gonna go all my microfiber cleaning rags, as well as my Norwex dusting mittens gonna go in there, but they were all being washed at this time, so I couldn't put them in there. And then the other one I used for storing all of my excess vacuum cleaner attachments, and then the other one had I have several of the bra bags for washing bras, and I also have like bags to put just things you don't want banging around in your washing machine, so they all go in one bag. I also recommend having pillow bags as well, especially if you have down-filled pillows, because you don't want that pillow to be exploding in your washing machine or dryer and the feathers getting everywhere. It happened to me once, and it's no fun. So now that these guys have dried, I'm going to add the detergent to them. The first one is my gym clothes detergent, and this seems to be the only one that works for the smell. The Tide one that I was using, I could not handle the smell of the Tide, the scent that it had. I didn't like it, my daughter didn't like it, so I've tried several different ones at you can get at grocery stores, and none had worked the way this one does. I did buy this one in at a running room. It was a little pricey, but I don't use it often and it lasts a while. I only strictly use it for gym clothes. The next one is an unscented and no color one. This one is for all the undergarments and bras and things like that. And then the regular detergent goes into this one. Well, actually, this is fabric softener first. I have had very little left in my big jug, so I had purchased one just so I can show you instead of going to Costco. So I got one at at Dollarama, just so I can demonstrate this for you before, so I don't have to go and get a giant one in Costco. But that's the one I usually buy, and I only use fabric softener on the towels. That's it. And then my regular Tide detergent, I'm currently using Tide. I was using Persil, but we were kind of done with the smell of it, so I switched to Tide. And I do prefer Persil and Tide because I do find they don't fade my darks. And then, like I said, the overstock of the detergents is gonna go up here. I'm also going to add my stain removers up here as well, so that way they have a spot and I don't have to be messing up everything whenever I'm doing laundry. They're just gonna stay here until I have to refill the bottles. So for this jar, I'm going to add my cloth dryer balls. Now, these I picked up at Dollarama. They were, I think, $1.25 for two, which is a great steal. Even if they were $4 for the two is pretty good deal. I remember when these first came out, they were so expensive. And I do have two other sets that they're constantly in the dryer. They are not cloth ones, like they're more like the rubber stuff. So I'm excited to try and use these, see if they're just as noisy. And then I had these turning thingies. I was using them in my fridge, and I thought these would work great here, just to put everything in there. So then all I have to do is spin it, and it takes up less room. And then I wanted to cover up the outlet a little bit, so I tried with my diffuser and a little plant that I picked up at Dollarama. And then over here I was going to put this laundry sign that I picked up at Dollarama, but it did not work with the door, and the door was banging it a little bit. So I decided to move it and actually fully cover the outlet over here and place it here. And then for the little corner there, I'm going to put my little basket. Well, it's not that little, but this is great for, those lonely socks. And this wash and fold laundry sign I picked up at a local store in a couple towns over. I did a haul video where I talk about this store. And I picked this up knowing that I will be redoing my laundry room, and it was a perfect sign and it fit perfectly right here. So I was trying to make sure that it was leveled, because my level didn't fit in between, and I didn't want to go and get another level. So I think I did it pretty good. I'm sure my husband's gonna come in and tell me it's not leveled because he's got a wicked eye for that, but to me it looked leveled, and that's really all that matters since I'm the one that does most of the laundry. So let me tell you guys, I could not be more happier with the way this room turned out. There are few things left to do. I think I want to get a little bit of a bigger rug for my floor, and I have to figure out how to hang up a curtain up here since the window is right up against the wall. So once I figure that out, I will get a curtain for it. But other than that, it is perfect. I think the tiles elevated this room so much, and don't forget to check them out in the link in the description box. And all the little pops of green are just perfect. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I'm super excited to be sharing a lot more home makeover videos with you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you another upcycling video. I am upcycling this mantle, or giving it a makeover. I have done this mantle way before YouTube days. It was a bright orange wood originally, and I had chalk painted with 3 different colors and loved it for many years. However, now with the whole new setup, sorry, it's real life here, but with the whole new setup, it's just not working for me anymore. So I have decided to give it a bit of a new makeover. I am going to be using one paint for this, and I'm going with the Benjamin Moore Aura Interior in Matte. This is in black. It's just called black. And this is the paint that I had painted my accent wall as well as my door. And then there's another door and the bathroom wall, shiplap wall. So there's a lot of that black going, and I thought this would look good here. I am doing something really fun for the mantle, so you want to make sure you watch this video thoroughly so you can see what I do for the mantle. I'm also going to be doing a little frame above, like where the TV is. The TV is gonna go down, and I'm going to work on that back wall as well. So lots of changes coming to this space, but I think it's going to look really good. It's going to stand out and be almost like a focal point, which is what I want. So we are going to get started. I'm going to prep the mantle first, and that's what I'm going to work on, just getting the mantle painted first. And then we're going to move on other things. First thing that I did is I covered my work area. I prepped it by taping it using some garbage bags as a tarp and taping them to the floor so that way they don't move and I don't slip while working on the surface. And then also I cleaned the fireplace. I am also going to remove the face of the fireplace so that way I can paint behind it. That way I don't have run into a chance of not covering everything, the whole back. Everything was prepped. I actually just saw this little trick and I'm just baffled that I haven't thought of this myself. Is I took some aluminum foil and I just covered the tray because I was going to use this tray for several days. I didn't want to have to wash it every single time or run into a chance of it drying out. This way, once you are done painting it, you just remove the tin foil and you have a clean tray underneath it. For painting the fireplace, I'm going to use a small foam roller as well as a small brush. I'm going to do all the big surfaces with a foam roller and then get into all the little crevices with the brush. This did not take very long at all, and I'm also not painting the top part of the fireplace. That part comes right off, and I'm going to be building a mantle top for that while I wait for my paint to dry. So like I said, this didn't take very long. It took about a coat and a half, I should say probably 2 coats to cover this fireplace. This paint is phenomenal to work with. The coverage is really good. It goes on smoothly and it's not for a matte paint. It's fairly easy to clean as well. And I just love the coverage that I get from this paint. So once I finish up the paint, I move on into the garage. So we went ahead to Home Depot and picked up some wood. So we picked up what were these? 1x8x6. And then we picked up the big piece of this thing. It's called the project panel, Shelving Furniture Project Crafts. It was the right width. So it was 16x72 is what we kind of needed. So we did end up cutting 6 inches off to fit. And now we are going to assemble the mantle. So we just wanted to make sure it fits. We removed the top part and slid this on it to see how it looks and whether it's a good size and if it sits nicely and if it fits before I went ahead and went outside to stain it. We first cut the wood to size and then we used a nailer to nail it in place and then used L brackets to secure it so the pieces would stay together. So the first thing that I'm doing here is I wanted to rough up the mantle. I wanted it to look like old barn board. So I am banging it up with some hammer and also using a screwdriver just to give it some scratches and really rough up the piece. And now I'm just going to use a wood filler just to fill in some gaps. When working with pine, it's never straight, so there is a little bit of a gap at one end, so I just wanted to fill that in just to have a bit of a more appearing of a solid piece. So while I wait for the wood filler to cure, which takes about 15 minutes, I'm going to test out which stain I want to stain this in. I'm going to mix several of them and then go from there. So here are some stain ideas. This is the Minwax Aged Oak in gel stain, which is the same one I use for my door. This one is the Early American in Minwax. The other one is Weathered Oak, and then this one is the Special Walnut by Birthing, and then this one is Special Walnut and Aged Oak mixed together. This is Special Walnut and Weathered Oak mixed together, and then this one is Weathered Oak and Aged Old American mixed together. So we are leaning towards this one, I think. So that will be the Aged Oak and Early American. Once the wood filler had cured, I am taking my round sander and sanding it first with the high grit sandpaper, and then I'm going to smooth everything out a little bit with a low grit paper. Now I am also taking the sander with the high grit paper and just creating some dents into the wood so it looks like it appears like it's old. Once I was done sanding, I'm taking some of this mineral spirits and some paper towel just to give it a good clean. You don't want any of the sanding particles to be left on this before you stain and apply a wood conditioner. I am actually starting with the wood conditioner. So whenever you are working with soft wood, they recommend conditioning it so that way you get an even application of stain. So you don't get discolorations in the stain. So I went ahead and actually went out and bought wood conditioner for this project just because I didn't want to take any chances. They do say that mineral spirits sometimes are enough and they will condition the wood enough, but I still wanted to just make sure that I don't have any bleed throughs. I did not use a wood conditioner on one of my other projects with the raw pine, and even though the project looked good and I don't mind the way all that different colors look, I didn't want that same look for this piece. While I waited for the wood conditioner to dry, so about half an hour or so, I went ahead and painted the 1x3 trim that I had purchased as well at Home Depot with the same black that I painted the fireplace. And now I took a measuring cup and I measured out equal amounts of the stain, just so that way, in case if I didn't measure out enough, I know exactly how much to put of each. You can apply the stain with a foam brush and then wipe it off. I prefer just using a rag and applying it and then wiping it off. Once I covered the whole surface, I go ahead again and wipe everything down. I do repeat this process twice, waiting approximately 4 hours in between. I love the way this stain ended up looking on this piece, and all the little dents and scratches that I made just picked up a little bit of a darker color and turned out really nice, making it look really old and rustic. I used this similar stain combination on my oak table that I refinished a couple weeks ago, and the stain turned completely different. I still like it, but I love this one a little bit more. Now this is a couple days later, 2 days to be exact. I am inside and I am using that same black paint to paint the middle of the wall. I actually had my husband use a large level to draw a line so I know where to paint, so I don't go past that line. I am using a large roller now to apply this paint, and then I'm going to do this in 2 coats. Again, the coverage was really nice and smooth, and didn't require 2 full coats, but it did require me to go over some areas a second time. And once, while I was waiting for the paint to dry, I went ahead and applied a sealer for the mantle. I did open the window because it was a little bit stinky. And I am using General Finishes water-based polyurethane. And I did 2 coats of this. So once everything was nice and dry, the mantle and the wall, we ended up using that 1x3 trim to create a frame around the painted surface. So the top part sits on the 2 sidebars, and we used a nailer to nail everything to the wall. I have to say, I am so very pleased with the way this turned out. It just looks so much better in the new space than the other one did. I loved my original fireplace that I've painted many years ago, but this one definitely, it needed to be updated to fit the new style, the new decor. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. This was a very inexpensive upgrade makeover to do on the existing fireplace, and like I said, I love it, and I would love to know if you guys love it as much as I do. I also shared a little clip of what it looks like with the TV on. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and a notification bell if you're not subscribed. And those of you returning, thank you so much for watching. And like I said, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. We did to this room is remove the floor. Now we did hire someone to come and do that for us, and once the floor was removed, I proceeded on removing the paneling that was here and all the trim and everything else that was on the walls. I did struggle with it a little bit, and my husband did have to come and help me with some of them. So once that was removed, my husband added a shiplap. We had tons of shiplap left over from the fireplace and the accent wall that we did. We just had to purchase a couple extra pieces, so we thought might as well use it in a mudroom. So pretty much one piece we cut in half and added on top of a 8-inch trim, and then I mudded all the holes that needed to be mudded. I mudded. So I also removed the shelving in this closet. I did paint it the same color as I was painting the trim, just so that way everything kind of goes together. And then I am here right now mudding all the holes from the hooks, because we did leave the trim because it's used as a shelving to hold up the shelves. So I just wanted it to look a little bit neater, so I ended up using a wood filler just to mud all the holes. And then once everything was mudded, I went ahead and sanded everything down. But before I sanded everything down, I did tape up my window on the door, because I was painting the door as well, and all the knobs on the other door, the garage door. I was contemplating about painting both of these doors black, but I just ended up painting the outside doors, even though my husband says that the garage door is considered an outside door, and I do agree with him to an extent, but it does not go outside, it goes into the garage. We'll see how I feel about just painting the one door. I might down the road paint the other door as well black. Let me know what you would do. Would you paint both of them black, or would you leave the one white and the other one black? The closet door is also going to be white, so I just wanted to have kind of one across the other to be white. I don't know if that makes any sense. I did have my husband, because at the beginning of the video the door was off, and I did have him put the closet door on, and he also will be doing some of the shelving up on the wall, which you will not see because he is a little camera shy, so you're just gonna kind of see before and after. So once I was done sanding everything down, I took my little Dyson and vacuumed everything up. So the walls I am painting with Benjamin Moore October Mist. It is their color of the year. I did paint my laundry room with this color as well. So I will link that up in the sky, so you can check that out if you want to see it. But yeah, so I had tons of this paint left over because the the laundry room is not that big, so I thought I might as well use it instead of going and buying another can of paint, because I have bought so many for this renovation. I love the way this paint looks. I trimmed everything with a brush. I do not use tape for this. I'm pretty good at it, so I don't need to tape. If you are a messy painter, then just use the tape. That's what it's there for. And then I use a 10mm roller and just roll everything on the paint. This took 2 coats to cover everything up. I did 1 solid coat, and then 1 was just to touch it up, so like 1.5 coats, I guess. And I did paint the inside of the closet. So while that paint was drying, I proceeded on painting my door. I am using Benjamin Moore black paint. It is the same paint that I painted my front door. If you want to see that, I will link that up there as well, how I redid my front entry. I am using a roller, and then I go into all the little nooks and crevices with a brush. This did take 3 coats to cover everything up. And then for the trim, I am using a roller, small sponge roller, to roll on the paint. I am using Decorator's White, which is by Benjamin Moore as well. It is the color of my kitchen and all the trim in my house and the staircase. So I just wanted all my whites to match. And then for the little crevices of the shiplap, I do use a brush to get in there and paint it. This I only did 1 coat on all of these, but I don't know if you remember at the beginning, there are some that are black because I was using them for something else and I painted extra ones, so those needed like 4 coats to cover. Luckily there was only 4 of them. So here is all nicely painted. The painter's tape is off, and here is the shelf, as well as another piece of trim that I'm going to be attaching hooks to. So now is the fun part, and it's time to put everything together. So I had bought a new knob for the closet. Let me tell you, it was quite challenging to find a knob for this closet because the screw needed to be super long, but I'm quite happy with the one that I did find. I also added back all the light cover switches. We were gonna go ahead and replace all of them with new ones, but spend too much money on other things, so I'm just going to reuse the old ones. And then once all of these are covered up, I am going to proceed in adding some hooks to that trim. That trim was also left over from my bathroom reno that I did several years ago, and I had a piece of trim left over in the garage, so I might as well use it. So this is a very budget friendly makeover, considering I didn't buy very many things to do it. So when I was screwing in the hooks, I just wanted to have them, I wanted 4 of them here, and I wanted to space them out evenly. So this is what I'm doing. I am also going to be using a level just to make sure that they're approximately the same height. I'm not looking for perfection, but I just wanted to be somewhat of the same height. My husband hasn't complained about them not being evenly spaced out or in the same line. He's usually the one that sees everything that no one else sees, so I think I did a pretty good job. I did get these hooks on Amazon. I will link all the paint colors down in the description box for you to have as a reference if you want to try them out yourself, or anything else that I'm using here will also be linked in the description box. I did do the same system on both sides for you to see. I just didn't want to bore you with what I was doing. Then I ended up adding some decor, and I was gonna put this little key holder thingy on the side where the other hooks were, but I thought it was a little too busy, so I ended up putting it on the opposite side where I had nothing. This is purely a decorative piece, a DIY that I created on my DIY channel. I highly doubt anybody's gonna hang their keys up here. I do have a basket at the front door that everybody can just kind of dump their keys in there. I am planning on creating some artwork for this room, maybe to go on the wall beside the door, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Then I wanted to add a wreath to this glass door, but I realized there were so many dead squished bugs on there, so I needed to clean the window before I put the wreath. The wreath I purchased several years ago. I think it was at the beginning of this year, and I just love it, but I no longer have a spot in my family room to keep it, so I thought this would look good over here, and it will give us a little bit of a privacy too from the neighbors because they're right there. Now I'm planning on using this side for all of my doggy needs, so I have this basket here, and I'm just adding some pooper scoopering bags that I have because I buy the big packet of them from Costco. And now I am going to keep their leashes here, and I also have a little kind of like a bag that goes around my waist for treats. And look, they heard the leash just clanging, so they both came to see if it was time to go for the WALK. I can't even say that word without them getting all excited. So now it's time to fill up these baskets. So like I said, I'm using ones for my daughter and I, and one for my son and my husband. And let me tell you, these baskets held quite a bit of stuff. Ours was full. We do have several hats, several scarves, lots of different mitts, from waterproof mitts to, nuts, so thick mitts to very thick mitts, but they're not waterproof, like all sorts of stuff, because I tell you, like I said, winter's long and you need some good warm clothes to keep you warm so you can actually enjoy all that the winter has to offer. So I like I said, I like how these filled up, and I think they look absolutely fabulous over here on the shelves. These will be linked down below in the description box if you want to check them out, or any other items that this store has to offer. Not sure if I mentioned at the beginning of this video, but this closet will be used for my shoes. Well, not just my shoes, for our shoes, because it just wasn't working for us in the big coat closet. So I decided to fill this up with shoes, and there's plenty of room still on the bottom. Then I went ahead and vacuumed. Now there were some mishaps on the floor, so I had to use a little paint scraper just gently so I didn't scratch the floor. And then once that was all cleaned up, I vacuumed everything and washed it so it's nice and clean. I am going to be adding this rug. I had just purchased this rug. I talked about these rugs when I redid my from Foyer, so make sure you check that video out if you want to learn more about these rugs. But I do love how these go with the baskets and the extra texture that they add to this room, the baskets and this rug. I think it needed that a little bit of texture in this room. We had pops of color, but we needed texture. And then I just added a boot tray to cover up the vent. Now I do need to still get a vent cover for this room because I am replacing some of them. So I think this room turned out really nice. I'm quite happy with the way it looks. I hope you like the transformation as well. Let me know what you think. Did you like the bright, colorful mudroom, or do you prefer more of a adult looking mudroom? Let me know down in the comments. If you're stopping by for the very first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and a notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. And those of you returning, thank you so much for your continuing support, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Hello my friends, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm very excited because I am bringing you my very first fall decorate with me. Now this is a very early fall, so I am kind of staying away from pumpkins, but I still want to add a couple fall touches. This is also first time I will be decorating this hutch and this whole room since we made it over. If you've been following along for a while, you've seen what this room looked like before, and we had painted it, added board and batten to it. I got a new hutch. I'm planning on making over the table. I did make over a hutch. That video is already on my DIY channel, but I am in process of making over a table. So I have done the chairs. I have not done the tabletop yet, so you're just gonna have to stay tuned for that. I also made over my tea card that was in this room from before, which will be another video over on my DIY channel. So I'm starting off with this hutch, and I am going to be adding lots of greens, kind of end of the season greens. So I have some fake apples I want to add, and then I also cut down some hydrangeas from my garden. I did share this over on my Instagram. I am trying to dry them 2 different ways. So in this room I am doing just adding them to the basket and letting them sit there and see what happens. And then the other method that I'm doing is adding water to a vase and letting the water evaporate and then dry in the vase. So I'm gonna see which method is better and which one I like better. So I am going to be adding some, almost all decor that's in this room is from my home. I did not go out to purchase anything. I think the only thing that I had purchased is pampas grass, but I had purchased that still back in spring. That's new that I have not used anywhere else. But I had repurposed a couple of different things. You saw the scale that I added, the apples. That I was a thrift find that I had repurposed. I also repurposed a vase that I'm using on this table. And then I'm adding all of my fine china that I had as a wedding present from my husband's grandmother. So I really wanted to have somewhere to add a couple pieces to display them. I love this china. It's Mikasa Palatia Platinum. I think that's what it's called. I think it's discontinued now, but it's very simple with just a little silver band around it, and I absolutely love it. And I thought it looks really, really great against this black painted hutch. And then I'm going to be adding also my little snow babies, because I over the years have accumulated several of them. Most of them were gifts from my daycare parents, from the kids for Christmas. So they are very dear and special to me. So I wanted to display them, have a place to display them as well. I'm not displaying all of them, just a few.
Dreamed about nothing else other than you. I always thought I'd be waiting in vain, but suddenly there you were. Never thought it'd be easy to feel you in my arms, but now we're here and I'm all in, and I wonder about you, 'cause I can stay till the morning, stay till the dawn, but just hold me now. I wanna be so much better whenever you're around. I wanna say something clever to get in your mind, 'cause right now we're not together and I lose my...
If you're stopping by my channel, my name is Sonja, and this is my home channel where I share tons of home decorating and cleaning inspiration. If this is something that you think you might be interested in, please consider subscribing, pressing the notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. We have done a huge main floor or makeover just this past couple months. It's almost finished. Actually, the next video that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is my newly renovated home tour. Now, it's not fully completed yet. I have been waiting for the kitchen to be finished, but just like everything else and all these issues with supplies and everything, I'm waiting. Now the kitchen is to the usable point, at least, so I can cook and wash my dishes and all that stuff. And I have been dying to share the whole thing with you, so I am going to go ahead and share it, even though it's not 100% completed. So make sure you tune in for that, and make sure, if you are subscribed, that notification bell is on so you don't miss out when this upload comes up.
Oh, I feel so much better whenever you're around, whenever you're around. Yeah, yeah, whenever you're around, whenever you're around.
I really do love the way this turned out with the white china against the black cabinet. It just pops, as well as the greenery that I've used here. I am loving the touches of wood as well, and I think the whole thing just works so well together. Let me know what you think.
Is it too late to feel you? Is it too late to tell you about how much I'm sorry?
So next I'm going to be decorating this table, and if you've been around, you know this table came from my dining room dinette. I have actually sold my formal dining room table, and my mother-in-law took. So I moved this table here because I no longer have a dinette. I made that whole space a kitchen. So this table will be used regularly, especially when all of my kids are home and we can have a family dinner. So I want to have something on there that's simple to take off. So I'm going to be adding this tablecloth. I bought this a while back. I have used it in my winter decorating. If you watched that video, you might have seen it. But the vase that I'm adding is actually a thrifted. I'm pretty sure it used to be a wine bottle, but I did get it at a thrift store. I think I paid $1 for it, and I ended up painting it with some chalk paint and added some stuff to the chalk paint. I will have that DIY video over on my DIY channel probably next week. And then I'm adding some pampas grass. So this is the grass that I had purchased while back at a local store called Dublin Mercantile, and as you can see, it's very, very long. Now I have decided that I most likely will never use it in its full size, so I had cut it down to fit inside the vase. Did not realize that I was actually just recording the back of me the whole time, and you're actually not seeing me cutting the pampas grass to size, so I do apologize for that.
Things I have done for the things I never did, but I promise, dear, I'll never let you go. So don't let go, get close to me. Oh, don't let go, get close to me. My body's waiting for you. I know your body's been waiting too. I wanna be so much better whenever you're around. I wanna say something clever to get in your mind. 'Cause right now we're not together, and I lose my way then. Oh, I feel so.
This grass sure made a big mess. I probably should have cut it somewhere else. So I needed to clean that up, and then I'm going to have to vacuum the dining room afterwards because, like I said, it just made a huge mess. And I'm also adding a little decor piece that is wooden, and I thought it just kind of ties in all the wood elements from the hutch, and I had DIY that as well. So it is made out of the wooden snakes from the Dollar Tree, and you can also find that video on my DIY channel. I feel like I'm advertising my DIY channel here constantly, but I do use a lot of my DIYs in my decor.
Whenever you're around, whenever you're around, yeah, whenever you're around.
So here is the table. I think it turned out really cute, very simple, very easy to remove and put back whenever we need to use the table.
Whenever you're around, whenever you're around, yeah.
Now it's time to decorate this tea card. This tea card has gotten 2 makeovers in the last year, and I think I love this one the most. I added some gold touches to it because I do have several pieces throughout the house that are black with gold touches, so I thought that would look really good and tie all those things together. Now the tea card took me a little trial and error to figure out how I wanted to decorate it. So just watch me add stuff and take stuff off. But that's typically how I decorate. I just play around with it until I find what I like.
Sometimes we act like a fool, not aware we're troublemakers. Sometimes we try to be cool, not being givers, only takers. Stop for a minute, stop and breathe for a minute. Don't get over your head, try to listen instead, won't you? Who you wanna be for a minute? Don't get over your head, you're like everyone else, aren't you? You could gain from being a bit nicer, know when to talk and when to shut your mouth. You're so moody, always such a fighter. Try to open up your mind sometimes. You'll be just fine. Sometimes we laugh when we're afraid. Sometimes we smile when we're mad. And some lines we wished we'd never said.
So I love the way this turned out. Very simple, but yet kind of tie in all the rest of the colors that I'm using in this room.
Stop for a minute. Stop and breathe for a minute. Don't get over your head, try to listen.
So I would love to know, are you guys decorating for fall? Do you think it's too early? I typically already start, but this year everything's been a little bit delayed, and also we haven't had a vacation yet, so we are heading out on Friday on our vacation, so I didn't want to start any of that full-on fall decor until we come back, and then it will be fall anyways almost, so it will feel right to decorate. And this way I had shared almost all the rooms without all the fall touches in it. This one I think had the most, with all the pops of green and harvested flowers and all that stuff, and I thought it's a perfect balance for the beginning of fall, those early fall touches, and then we're going to be adding some pumpkins later on. Well, I hope you had enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you had enjoyed it. What was your favorite part about it? And also, if you've been following along for a while, let me know what you think about my makeover. Do you think it turned out really good? I love how bright and airy it looks now. And I did actually do a before and after video reel on my Instagram, so make sure you check that out if you haven't seen it yet. The links are all in the description box. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much for watching. Hi guys, today is the day that I share my kitchen reveal. It is the one video that you guys have been asking for and waiting so patiently. So this is what my kitchen looked like before our reno started back in May. The whole process started in January with the kitchen design, but we started the reno in May with the floors going out at the end of May, so we needed to get the kitchen out before that. So my original kitchen was a cherrywood kitchen in Mission with black paste stain. When we built the house, it was the kitchen that was in style. So we did most of the reno ourselves. The floors were removed by a different person, but the kitchen was demoed by ourselves, and we found quite the surprise in the fan in the kitchen. So I'm glad that's out of the house. We cut out the drywall where the backsplash was, added some pot lights, added a beam into the kitchen, between the kitchen and the family room, that I later stained in a darker stain. And then the kitchen went in before the floors, because you can't put the kitchen on top of the vinyl floors. So we had the kitchen installed first and then the floors second. So here it is. I'm gonna give you a little overview. I could not be happier with it. Goodbye the darkness, hello brightness. I think the colors have definitely brightened up the kitchen a lot. So I'm gonna start with a counter on my island. So we had butted up against this wall, so that way we could get the maximum size possible. Otherwise, if I was trying to have a walkway here, it would be too narrow, probably only about 2.5 to 3 feet. This way we were able to do 5 by 9, and I think it's a perfect size. We contemplated about going 10 just to do a full slab of stone, but it would have been too much of an overhang on that side, and then if I went this way, there wouldn't be enough space between that wall and a counter. So this is, in my opinion, a perfect size for this space. I went with a white oak in a boardwalk stain. Now I'm pretty sure the boardwalk stain is specific to my kitchen company, but I'm not 100% sure. And the kitchen company that we went with is Olympia Kitchen Cabinets, which is owned by Berzati. So if you are in KW, Guelph, Cambridge area, you've probably heard of them. So the top, the counter is quartz. Like I said, it's 5 by 9. That way we don't have a seam, because anything that's longer than 10 or wider than 5, then you end up having a seam. We did not want that for sure. So one solid piece, and the quartz is Calcutta Classic by StoneX. The stools came from 2 different places. I have found 2 of them at HomeSense, and I was hoping to find 2 others, but couldn't, so I ended up ordering 2 other ones at Overstock. So they are a touch different. The color is the same, the stitching is a little bit different. So I have 2 and 2. It doesn't bother me. If that's something that bothers somebody, then I would recommend not to buy things at HomeSense unless you know there's everything there. So then I'm just going to go over here. I have added a Faux Beam. I have a DIY video how I did this over on my DIY channel. Check it out. It cost us, I think, altogether under $150 for sure. And then the lights came from Canadian Tire. I have liked these lights quite a bit, and all the lighting stores, they were a touch bigger but a lot more money. I managed to stop by Canadian Tire at the time when they were half price, so they cost me like, I think I paid $75.99 for each, and I absolutely love them, and I think they are perfect for this space. I didn't want them to be closed up. I wanted to have a kind of a straight view from the family room into the kitchen without any too much of obstruction. So that's why I chose those, and I love them. My husband also installed the pot lights everywhere, which I think it was such a great addition to this kitchen. I did not have pot lights before. So we did a lot of the work ourselves, like the demolition, the floor installation, the backsplash, electrical, we had it inspected, but we did do the work ourselves. So then moving on, in my sink, I went with Kohler 33-inch, I think that's the size. It's the farmhouse cast iron enameled sink. I did a lot of research, went back and forth between cast iron and a fire clay. There were many reasons why I've chose these. Primarily, this has lifetime warranty for scratching, and I was really more concerned about chipping, which fire clay, I've heard so many people chip it by hitting it with a slow cooker, so that's why I ended up going with the cast iron. Now, I haven't had any problem with yellowing. I do use Norwex cleaning paste to clean it, or I use Vim with bleach. Actually, Vim with bleach, which is not the perfect solution, but if you get a stain on here, it takes it right off. So that's why I actually ended up purchasing it, and then it does work on the sink as well. I also heard the barkeeper's barkeepers, I don't know, but something along those lines works as well. I haven't tried it. The faucets are Brizo, this is Odin, and then this is a corresponding or the matching RO. So they're by Brizo. I think Brizo is the higher end Delta, but lifetime warranty, it was a bit of a splurge. All of the plumbing in my house was a bit of a splurge, but I think it was well worth it. So, and then as you can see, the island has a furniture base. The dishwasher's in there. This is under the sink. This is double garbage. I don't want to show you my full garbage. And then this one, I had them put a pull-out drawer so I can put my dirty lid. This holds dog food and dog treats and fish oil, all the needs for my dogs, and then their feeding bowls are there. And then over here is another overhang, and I was able to put 2 stools. These came from Bouclair. Again, great price. I've been looking for stools, walked in Bouclair, they were half price. So both of them were, I think, $150 for both. So that was a great deal as well. I did upgrade all the handles. I pretty much told the kitchen designer just to put a C-fit for the sizes in all the, so I didn't have to figure out what size I want where. She did that for me, which I'm pretty grateful. The floor is Provenza, Finally Mine vinyl, and I absolutely love it. We did this in our whole main floor, 1 floor type, and I absolutely love it. Then moving on to the cupboards. Obviously, as you can see, one of the biggest costs in my kitchen were all drawers. I do not have a cabinet except the corner one. The rest are pull-out drawers. And then we did the 2 pantries on each side, and then over here we did a appliance garage. So I'm still playing with it, trying to figure out what I'm going to be putting where. So I have this, and then in here I pretty much just kept appliances that I use on regular basis, daily, some of them, so that's there. I will not be going into, well, I guess I could show you my pantry here. I haven't organized it the way I wanted it yet. I'm still playing around trying to figure out what I want to put where, but I only went with 2 pull-out drawers. Last time I had pull-out drawers on these 2 shelves as well. I had all pull-out drawers, and I found these 2 shelves were really kind of useless when it came to pull-out because it was hard to reach the back of it. And this one, like, if you're not, I'm 5'10", and I had a hard time seeing the top of the shelf. So I opted for just the 2 bottom ones to pull out. I probably could have done this one too, but it is what it is now. So I did the same thing at that one. And then another thing I'm going to show you, well, a couple more things. We did a cutlery drawer, and this is the double one. So it's has the cutlery on top, and then all the other utensils, I mean, whatever, cutting tools I need are in here, and this saves a lot of space. I used to have 2 to 3 drawers to house all that, so that's nice. So there are deeper drawers at the bottom. And then here I went with an oil spice shelf, and again, as you can see, it's half empty because I'm still trying to kind of figure out how I'm going to organize everything. So just to give you a look, crown molding. Crown molding is one of the more expensive things in the kitchen, we found out. And then I did the pot filler as well. That one is a Delta pot filler, just because I did not love the Brizos ones that they had, and this one matched really well with my faucet. So that I love. It again, it was a splurge. It was one of those things that, you know, is it necessary? No. But does it look good? Absolutely. And I have been using it quite a bit, so I guess, you know, it is necessary then. And then on the other side of the stove, I did another utensil holder. That way I don't have to have any of that on my counter. And again, it's empty on the bottom just because I'm actually thinking I'm gonna put all of my barbecue tools in there. In here is just a corner shelf, and I am keeping all of my heavy stuff in here. All of my cast iron and stone is in here. And I did not go with the Lazy Susan. I do not love Lazy Susans at all. So I just went with that. And that way I don't have to put those heavy things inside my drawers. And then we did another garage, and here I have a microwave, and it has a shut off when you close it. So that's that. And then over here is my little coffee station. It's a bit of a downgrade in the size of a coffee station comparing to what I had last time, but I absolutely love it. Now, last time my coffee station wasn't in my kitchen, so this is a bonus having it in the kitchen. And I did floating shelf that are done by the kitchen company, and they were staying in the same boardwalk white oak boardwalk stain and then white oak wood. So that's I love this. It gives me a bit of a nook to decorate and kind of put my own little touches. As you can see, it's Halloween time now. So I do have a whole video on how I decorated this if you want to see it. It's in my videos. I think it's the last video I posted before this one. So, and we also splurge on the coffee maker. This was a recent purchase. It was actually my husband's birthday present. So, and then I have deep drawers here, and I store my, again, I can show you, it's not fully done yet. I still have keycaps left from my coffee maker before, but I have all my teas, and I got these actually from Dollarama, and they work really well in here. And then in here are just all of my mugs, and then the bottom is extra coffee and all that stuff. Like I said, I still have to figure out a good way to decorate everything. And I also put that divider in here just so you can see. Works really well, and it kind of matches the inside of the drawers a little bit too, so that's nice. The appliances that we went with, I went with a 36-inch dual fuel KitchenAid stove. So dual fuel means gas on top, electric oven. I love this stove. The oven works amazing, and it didn't take as long to get it as I thought it would. We ordered all of our appliances in January, and the stove, the dishwasher, and the fan were all in by the time my kitchen went in. We did have to wait for the fridge, and the fridge we did go with the KitchenAid one. And I have a full organization video on my cooking channel, how I organized this fridge. So if you want to check that out, you go ahead over there. For And I opted for the fridge with the water and ice on the outside this time. I haven't had that before. So I just wasn't a fan of everybody always going into my fridge to get ice and water when we had company. So I prefer that much more. And then the fan is a Zephyr, I think that's how you say it, and it's a Venza, I think that's what was called. This was one that was recommended by the appliance store guy, salesman, and I knew I wanted a stainless steel. I did contemplate at the beginning, but then I made my decision that I wanted a stainless steel hood rather than a wood hood that I had before. The KitchenAid dishwasher as well. It's just a dishwasher, nothing special about it. The backsplash that we went is a Keep Artisan tile. It is so you cannot purchase the Clo tile in Canada only through Wayfair. So this is a company that makes a very, in my opinion, it's almost the same tile. It's Spanish tile, handmade tile, but it's available in Canada, and it's called Artisan Keep. So I will have all the links to everything that I have linked down below if you want to check any of it out. Well, I hope you had enjoyed this kitchen reveal tour. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If this is your first time stopping by, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, make sure the notification bell is on, because Christmas is almost here and we will be decorating the whole house for Christmas. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much. To finish off this video, I wanted to share with you my latest home tour so you can have an idea what the home looks like now. I recorded this just past month, so it is pretty up to date. Like I said before, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in comments what was your favorite. And seeing my dogs, I know a lot of you are here just for them. But let me know which room was your favorite, what you would have done different, if there is anything that you think you would do different, or maybe it's all of it, I don't know. So, but, and since the beginning of the reno and towards this video, I did restart my home daycare, so the mudroom does look a little different. So anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching.
always do. Hold my hand and look me in the eyes so I can tell you how I feel. Tell you how I feel. Every day is something new. If I spend it with you, with you, with you. Oh, I want you right now, and I need you right now, you right now. My world is spinning round, round, around. Oh, I want you now, now, now. My world is spinning round, round, round. And I want you now, and I want you now, and I want you now. How you move and what you do has made me so crazy about you now. Love, we can go anywhere you like and do anything you want, anything you want. 'Cause every day is something new. If I spend it with you, with you, with you. Oh, I want you right now. Oh, I need you right now, you right now. My world is spinning round, round, round. Oh, I want you now, now, now. My world is spinning round, round, round. And I want you now, and I want you now. My world is spinning round, round, round. Oh, I want you now, now, now. My world is spinning round, round, round. And I want you now, and I want you now, and I want you now.